Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Moi, and in today's video I will be explaining what an ideal recommended Flutter project structure should look like. So before I get into the Visual Studio Code part of it, I will be explaining this visually by breaking down what each of these folders represents, what they mean. So each of these folder relates to how an ideal Flutter project should be, structure should be. So in the last video, we've created our simple Flutter app. So we've gotten familiar with what each of the folders look like. So as we get into it some more, I'll just explain here what the leaf folder does, as well as the subfolders underneath it. So we have the lib folder here, and I would like to actually start from the bottom here, which is the main.dat. So when you launch your Flutter app, the very first entry point of your mobile app is the main.dat. Everything is set in there for, say, the files that you want to load, the env files or any other startups that you want to do. The main.dat takes care of that because it is the entry point of your mobile application. So back to the lib folder. So under the lib folder, this is actually where all your source code goes into, all your coding, all the files, everything goes under the lib folder. So under the lib folder here, the ideal structure would be to classify your folders into structures like the core folder, the features folder, and the shared folder. There can be additional folders to this, but this is the general structure on how it should look. So under the core folder here, as you see here, the core folder is the app level setup. This contains things like your app, your theme, your constants, and under this core folder, as you can see here, we have the app.dat. We would explain this further when we move into the Visual Studio Code itself, what that looks like, but this is just to give a high level view of it. So we have the app.dat, constant.dat, and the theme.dat, and just from what the names imply, you can put in values like you can set in some values here, some defaults. You can set in some constants in here, and then you can set in what you want the theme of your app to look like. There are cases where you want to specify specific theme for your app, say the colors or the color scheme for what it should look like if it was dark mode, or what it should look like if it was the light mode. So we have that under core. There are still some depending on how large your project is. This can be a small project or a large project, but this is the general folder structure, at least under core. Then under features, features folder is the feature based structure, and what that means is that each screen can be classified as a feature. So under this here, when you have your mobile app, so the login is a feature, when the sign up is a feature, the welcome screen, the home screen, these are all features of your mobile app. So I just highlighting one of them here, which is the home. So under features, we have the home folder. So under the home folder, we have the data folder, the domain, the presentation, and then we have subfolders under presentation. So under the home folder here, we have data, and this contains the repositories and the API logic, everything on that data that helps you connect your code to the backend. Now we also have the domain folder. So the domain folder contains things like your models, your entities. So under the say for instance the login feature, you have the user inputting their email address or password. So under this as a model, we can have a model that takes in the username and the password, in this case the email and the password. So we can have a login request model that does that. Then we also have the presentation folder, which contains subfolders like the pages and the widgets. Really in Flutter, everything is called the widget. So under the pages here, we have the screens, the home screen, the login screen, the sign up screen, the settings screen, the profile screen, and all that. Then we have the widgets, which are specific widgets on each screen. On what each of the screens contain. For instance, your home screen can contain many sub widgets, so to speak, under that one view. You can have so many widgets, so you can list everything out in this widgets folder. Then we have the shared folder. So the shared folder is reusable across all features, just like the name implies. Instead of writing same code in multiple parts of your project and repeating code, which is very unnecessary, we can have the shared folder here that contains things that can be used across your mobile app. So it's a single code base that can be referenced anywhere within your project. So we have the widgets here. Like I said, we use widgets all across Flutter. Pretty much everything is a widget. So we can create shared widgets here. We can create a button, for instance. For most mobile apps, you have the way the buttons look, you have the way the navigation bar looks. Even features, even widgets within the bottom navigation bar, you pretty much have some things that are repeated across the mobile app. So those kind of widgets can go under the subfolder here, the widgets folder here. And what that does is that all we need to do is just to reference it across the app without having to repeat code. Then we have services here, where your whole project can reference the services folder to make calls across the app. So that gives an high-level view on what the ideal project structure should look like in a Flutter app. And now I will move to our project here. So I've created a default project here, which shows just under the lib folder here, pretty much the same thing that we've done here, but now visualized in our code. So we have the core folder here as listed. So that contains the app.dat here, which is just a reference from the main.dat. So you can see here that from the main.dat file, we were able to reference the app.dat. We also could have just moved this code in here to the main.dat, but this just makes it very tidy for the user. So we have the app.dat. Under the core folder, we have the constant, which is the app-wide constant. So this is where you define all the constants that you use across your app. Then we have the theme. You also define your theme here. Then under the features folder, we have the home feature. So when we have more features like the login feature, the sign up feature, and the rest of them, they would also all be created on here. So we can have login here as well as a feature. So under the home folder here, we have the data, which contains the home repository. Like I said, this is a data layer for the home feature. And then we have the domain, which you can create all your models in here. You can create you also have the presentation folder, which contains all the pages. So when someone actually launches the home page, this is what it looks like. Then we also have the widgets, which are reusable widgets that you use on the home folder. Then under the shared folder, we have the services, which is the global API service. Like I said, can be referenced everywhere by different parts of the app. Then we also have widgets, shared widgets, which are reusable. For instance, a reusable button widget. So this is just a general view on an ideal project structure for Flutter. And in coming videos, we will be creating much more complex code to pretty much explain what each of these files do, and to be able to connect it to a backend and see just what kind of code goes into each of these files. So thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.